Welcome, YouTube friends and subscribers and joiners. Thank you so much. If you like what you're seeing, give me a thumbs up. Appreciate that. And this is our Gentle for Parkinson's class. There we go. Spotlight. What do they say? You're dismissed. What do they say when you're at attention and then you step out of attention? I can't remember. Let's see. Anyway. At ease. Thank you. Thank you. There you are, BJ. Good to see you. Hello, Dot. Srini, welcome. Paul. Julie. Paula. Welcome, Paula. And Smitty. And Bud. And who's that guy? Well, that guy's good look. Oh, that's me. Oh my goodness. All right, so this is our general class for Parkinson's. Yeah, you got Brett coming in here. Great. Looks like Paula and Smitty are new. Welcome. Hope you give it a try. You're always welcome just to watch or observe with your camera on or off. I'm going to put us on mute and push back. And there she is, Sue-Ann. Hello, my dear. Oh, it's going to be a good day. All right, here we go. So I'll push back here. What happened? Hold on. What happened? How do I still hear Srini? Srini, say something.
I was said that.
Well, oh no, it's Brett. Brett, you're the one who said. Okay. Did you have something to say, Brett, before I mute you?
No.
Okay. All right, there we go. Brett has nothing to say. That's okay. No pressure. Okay. Well, we just lost Paula. Oh, well. Okay, this class is what I know. I'm an acquired taste. Get our water bottle, sip and a swallow. I think we'll do some sit to stand today as well. Bearing witness. Okay. Bring yourself to the front of the chair. Take a couple of deep breaths in. And exhale. And let's turn our head to the right. Release that and turn our head to the left. Come straight forward, tilt your right ear to your right shoulder. And up and over left your left shoulder. And then back to center. Big breath in. And exhale. Let's stir. Around to the right. Nice and slow. And I want you to feel your points of contact as we stir around. Your hips on the chair. You'll notice the weight kind of shifts around there, right, in a circular fashion. I want you to feel your soles of your feet on the floor or in your shoe. Let's reverse that. I want you to feel your hands on your knees. And it's interesting. You can feel your hands on your knees. But can you distinguish between the surface of your hands and the tops of your knees? And reverse it. I don't know. For me, it's a little... I mean, I can switch back and forth, but I can't really feel them both at the same time. So for all of our movements, pain-free range of motion, challenge yourself. But if you have a shoulder injury, up tall, center, move your feet apart, or knee injury or something that hurts, just avoid it. I don't want anybody to be uncomfortable. We want to work hard. We're going to reach our arms forward. We're going to stretch from the hips way, way forward, coming down. Let your stomach fall through. your legs there. And now we're going to pull back up and clench into the no money. And stretch forward. And pull back up. So I'm externally rotating the upper arm, pulling my shoulder blades together and down. Paula and Smitty, if you're new, you probably, or maybe you have had heard my take on the most important part of your body. If you have Parkinson's, stretch forward, or even if you don't have Parkinson's, pull. And for me, ground zero, the most important part of your body is the area directly between your shoulder blades when your shoulder blades are positioned thusly, together and down. Lower your hands, because if you can refer to your room or your environment from an awareness of that position, that placement, that reference point, it keeps you up here and it fights back that tendency to be drawn down and forward. And pull it up. Let's go out to the side, thumbs down, hands up, and pull back in, contracting those arms, chest is open, and out and in. For those of you who were here last week, I was touting our comedy event, PCLA, Parkinson's Community Los Angeles, a nonprofit I'm a founding member of out here. We've been around for 8 years. And we had our first ever comedy show fundraiser, and it was awesome. Bring them up, turn the thumbs forward and the palms away from each other, and now pull down from this plane of movement to that same position. Our headliner was Arsenio Hall. It was at the Improv, very famous stand-up theater here on Melrose in Los Angeles. Pull down. And it was a huge success. It was packed. I welcomed the group in with a little talk about one of our founding board members who passed away, Sandy. He had Parkinson's. He passed away from heart issues, though. We're going to lean forward. We're going to combine these and pull back, outward, pull back, and upward. And Sandy always wanted to be a stand-up comic. Reach forward and pull back. And at age 70, out, he did just that. Pull and up. And so they put together a bunch of clips from his stand-up shows and started off the whole night with that. It was just beautiful. Out, pull in and up, pull down. Let's let them flow. Forward, back, out. Make sure you're hitting that all-important beat there. Forward, back, out, back, back, forward, out, up. Last one, and forward, out, and up, and pull down. Big breath in, open the hands up. And from here, maintain that position of the shoulders and the shoulders. And let's stir around like a top. Try to leave your arms in that and your shoulder blades in that position as we move around in a circle. Sometimes doing nothing is harder than doing something. And let's reverse that. And all the way around it up to center. Big breath in. And exhale. Then lower your hands to the tops of your knees. Okay, another sip in the swallow. And for the new folks, we do little things that are kind of adjacent to exercise. Sip and a swallow. This is one of them. I want you to observe for now what the tongue does when we swallow. We spend a lifetime, let's grab our hand weights. We spend a lifetime consuming solids and fluids. We think about the taste, of course, right? Well, we never think about the mechanics of what goes on with that swallow. It's a reflex. We do it automatically. Well, it can become difficult. Not always, of course, but Parkinson's can make it become difficult. So one of the small things we do is pay attention to certain things that we would just in the normal, without a normal life, just glance over and not even think about. We do these things to have a more global and detailed awareness of our existence and our placement and our domain. So if we ever have to work on swallowing, we're very familiar with the playing field. We just didn't get there and we're all of a sudden trying to figure stuff out. No. One more, up and down, and now we're going to go into our march. So it's right arm, left knee, and vice versa. Smooth, slow, and controlled, paying particular attention to the configuration and alignment of your spine, keeping it neutral. A neutral spine has a curve. From the side, anyway. That curve in the lumbar spine, the thoracic, the cervical, up and down. 3, 2, 1. Side raises. So as we go through these moves, you are directing your attention, of course, to the movement of the arms, but certainly foundationally on establishing that neutral position in the spine. And I love it. Dot, way to work. So Dorothy has a shoulder injury, but she's doing what she can. And it looks like this. Beautiful. That, as I like to say, is not evidence, visual evidence of an injured shoulder. Rather, it is visual evidence of a championship spirit, a spirit that comes to the work even when we're not 100%. That's what I see. All right, alternate with the opposite side sweep. So my daughter May told me a joke yesterday. BJ, you've heard this, as I told it in the last class. I'm going to tell it today. Maybe it'll be better than the last class. I had a chance to rehearse it. I never told it. Well, let me see. We're going to go into an alternating pattern. Here we go. Up, down, up, down. Okay, so alternating. Bicep curl lift, bicep curl, and side, and side. This woman walks into a grocery store. She walks up to the person there working in the aisle, and she says to him, she says, "Where's the ice cream?" And he looks at her and he says, "Our refrigerator's broke. All the ice cream melted. We don't have any ice cream." She goes, "Oh, okay, thank you." 5 minutes later, that same woman walks up to that same worker there. She says, "Excuse me, where's your ice cream?" And he looks at her and he goes, "I just told you, the refrigerator's melted and we don't have any ice cream." She said, "Okay, thank you." So she walks away. Another 5 minutes come up. She comes up to him and he looks at her and he's like, he says, "Excuse me, sir, where's the ice cream?" She says, "This is the third time I've told you. Our refrigerator's broke and we don't have any ice cream." She said, "Oh, okay, thank you." Bicep curl together for victory pose. Here we go. So another 5 minutes go by and that same woman walks up to this guy and he looks at her and he's kind of, "Excuse me, sir, where's the ice cream?" He goes, "Look, spell cat with an A." She says, "C-A-T?" He says, "Okay, good, thank you. Spell dog with an O." She says, D-O-G. "Okay, good. Spell ice cream with an F." She thinks for a minute. She goes, "There is no F in ice cream." And he says, "That's what I'm trying to tell you." My 10-year-old told me that one. Anyway. What you got? What you got, PJ?
All right. So when that joke went around and my mother heard it from someplace and she thought it was hysterical. Now this is the she never swore, not even dang kind of thing.
Yeah. Time.
So she's telling the joke, and when she's telling the joke, she actually used the whole word. And it was the first time any of us had ever heard her say that word. And we laughed so hard. So that's why I remember that joke, is because my mother said effing for the first time and she used the whole word.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was so funny. She must be about 70 years old. She
Oh
finally
my
said the word out
gosh.
loud.
Well, I guess she knew the word. She just didn't feel comfortable uttering it unless it was a mistake.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Oh
But
my
we
God.
laughed about that joke for years because of that.
That's awesome. Isn't it fun when life gives you those, grab your towel, gives you those naturally unexpected comedic moments? Grab the towel. So we're going to kayak upstream. So my brother and father and I started an ad agency years ago. And we had a flagship client, which is a bottled water company, and they really allowed us to grow and gave us work. And it was a family-run business, and the owner, this guy named Warner, had a mom, and it had been passed down through the family. His dad had died, and while we were working together, we had a couple of missed deadlines, but we were mostly doing well in terms of like the brochure. And eventually we did a little TV spot for him for cable. Down, around, and up. And they loved it. It was our first ever producing of a television spot. It came out pretty good. Down, around, and up, down, around, and up. Let's bring it up to the chest. We're going to snap it against the chest. We're going to go forward, snap, back, and back. Well, shortly after the production of the commercial, the owner of the company's mother passed away. So we went to the wake, and it was in the evening in the western suburbs of Chicago. It was a cold night. It was snowy. And we went in, and there were probably 70 people there. So we waited in line to pay our respects and to the owner, to Warner was his name. Tall guy. So we waited in line, and finally we got up to him. We shook his hand, and he said, "Oh, thanks for coming, guys. I got to tell you, Mom, she just was so proud of that commercial. She loved that commercial." At which point my brother said, "Yeah, I'm glad we made that deadline." So I immediately cringed. And we both pretended, all three of us, that had not been said. So we finally finish up, and we're walking back to the car, my brother and I, on that cold night, snow on the ground, wind was blowing. We get halfway across the parking lot, and I just simply say, "Deadline?" He goes, "I know, shut up, shut up." Another comedic moment, naturally kind of similar. Oh, one more. Up and down, forward, back. And let's reach up on a diagonal and kick out. Diagonal, kick out. You know what? We have our discussion group on Wednesday. I've got another fun story. I think I'm going to make the theme on Wednesday the most embarrassing moments of your life. That's always a fun topic, isn't it? I've got a good one, and I'm not going to tell you now. If you want to hear it, you got to come to the discussion. And BJ, I hope you're coming to the discussion group, because if you don't come, I'm probably not going to remember that that's the topic. All right, let's combine them. So it's forward, backing up, out to the side. As you snap that towel into your chest, recall the first drill we did where we would pull them back up into that superhero pose with our fists clenched and our shoulder blades together and down. They should pretty much be in that precise position right here between each snap here. here, here, here. One more. So we're burning calories and working the muscles, aerobic, strengthening, strength training. And we're also doing programming for perfect posture. Oh, how much can we work on at once? One more time. Up and out. And we'll pause here. We're going to snap it into this position. Accompany each snap by an alternating stomp. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop it down. Big breath in. I want to take a couple deep breaths and then between each, normal breaths. And I want you to take full capacity in terms of how much air you put in your lungs. And it's going to go in through the mouth, out through the nose, sitting in this posture position. Here we go. Now just 2 to 3 normal breaths. Now we made that deadline. Again. And exhale. Normal breath. If we don't remember to do this throughout the day, we will invariably fall into what they refer to as shallow breathing. Here we go. And exhale. That's no good. Gosh. All right, grab your tubing. Let's do another sip and a swallow. Again, another practice in addition to the deep breathing that you are to take out of this class and bring into your day. The observance of the consumption of water. And this straw has resistance. So I got to draw the water in, which allows me to really regulate the volume of water that I take in. So it brings consistency to a complex event that I'm trying to get a better grasp of. And also, if you kind of pause and switch the water around a little bit, kind of set the table for the observance of that cadence of swallow. Tall in the chair. Let's do some external rotation here. Man, I said I wanted some sit to stand, some other those before too long. Dang it. There's one other thing I wanted to say. Very important. Now I forgot. So it's called external rotation of the humerus or the upper arm here. I'm turning that arm out. You know, we have 206 bones in the body, about 604 or so muscles, somewhere in that ballpark. I've seen it 608. And our shoulder is the most complex joint. It involves 4 articulations. 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to do a row. You're going to loop it under the arch of the right foot with a soft grip in the hands. We're going to pull it back. One of our students called me, and she's doing, I think it's called a posterior shoulder replacement. And the doctor told her, she said, well, am I going to have rehab or physical therapy after it? And he said, you're not going to need it. What is that? I don't know. That's the first time I've ever heard a joint replacement. That's the first time I've heard of a doctor preparing a patient for a joint replacement, telling them there's no rehab after it. I wonder, has anybody else, show of hands, anybody else heard that? Nobody. I thought it was a little bit odd. And wouldn't you at least do 6 weeks? I mean, if you got a shoulder injury, you're not using your shoulder properly. There will be atrophy. All right, switch it over both ends in the left hand, and we're going to pull back and across for 10 times. And I said to her, it seems to me like maybe this doctor has an ego, maybe he's so good at his surgery, you're not going to need any type of rehab. And she said, no, he's not like that. Maybe I'm missing something. One more. I will say this, and we can talk about this more in the discussion group as well. Okay, we're going to do the Kung Fu kick here. So keep it under the arch of the right foot. Gosh, I hate it when that happens. It always startles me. All right. Left hand, both ends in this hand. Right hand under here. And we're going to keep those arms straight, and we're going to lift away as we sweep that leg out in Kung Fu fashion. So I went in, I don't know if I had to cancel class for it or not, but I went in to see my doctor last week. And I've seen him for years, and I like him. He's very conservative in terms of he doesn't give you anything fun. 3 more, 3, 2, and 1. But he said that, let's reverse it up to the other, put an arch of the left foot, straighten it. He's got his practice. He used to be with a group. Now he has an office just by himself. And the reason I like him is because they always answer the phone. It never goes to voicemail. Well, at lunch it does. But they're just incredibly responsive. So I only reach out when I really need it. He's got 3,000 patients. That seems like an awful lot. But he said, we talked for a little bit. I told him about, he knows that I work with Parkinson's, and I showed him our updated website. And 3, 2, 1. And we talked about how difficult it is to get in to see an MDS neurologist. And he said, I know. He said, because of all of these cuts, there are tons of primary care physicians like himself leaving the industry and not coming back. So we were talking about that. He's like, I don't want to make it political or anything, but I said, hey, let's go ahead and talk. But yeah, so I wonder if because I know how hard it is to get to see an MDS, man, and that's different than a general practitioner, right? But I don't think it's going to get any easier. I mean, you get somebody who needs a diagnosis, and so they get a partial diagnosis from either their primary care, not a partial diagnosis, a tentative diagnosis. I don't know what you call it. When you want to get it confirmed by an MDS, either from a neurologist, and so you got to get an appointment. And you got to sit around for 4 freaking months, maybe sometimes 6 months to get to see your doctor. It's abusive. I don't know what the answer is. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go ahead and reverse that. So now my right hand, thumb is up, left hand underneath, and we're gonna do that sweep out Kung Fu kick. With Parkinson's, there are some general things you see in common, but I never stop. I've seen thousands of people with Parkinson's. You never stop seeing something a little bit different. And even with the stuff that you see that is the same, it looks different on every frame, the way it presents. But the one thing, now there's 2 things that every one of these folks that have been diagnosed with Parkinson's have in common. Talk about this is their journey to and moment of diagnosis. And that moment can be handled compassionately. It can be handled carelessly. can be handled cruelly, but everyone has that path and moment of. And now, though, one thing we all share in common is a frustration with being able to get to see our neurologist. That's just not right. Two more. 1, 2. And I know there are some exceptions to that. I know one of you here has a really great medical team, and they're very responsive, which is awesome, which means there's hope, right? Let's go ahead and bookend this with the external rotation again. I will stick around after class to answer any questions and see how we did. I'm looking over here at the complaint box. It's still packed. There's no more room. 3, 2, 1. All right. Foot shooting down. We have a sip and a swallow. That's funny, BJ. There is no F in ice cream. Tall. Hands out in front. Extend the wrists. Lift the toes. Make a fist and curl the knuckles down and lift the heels. Slow and controlled stretching. Getting fully open and the toes up as high as you can. Fully closed and curling the knuckles down. Check in on the spine. Straighten up if you've moved out of neutral. Up and hold. Right hand down, right heel up. And as promised, we're going to do some sit to stands here. And we're going to do the and up technique. Reach those arms up in the air and flip them down into the floor here, flicking those fingers. As we're doing this, get yourself poised to get launched out of the chair. We're going to pull our feet back, be on the edge of the chair. Hands across the shoulders here. Lean forward. We'll do the and up and we'll unfold into the no money. Go. And up. That up phase is the momentum. And up. Throwing yourself vigorously forward and down. Don't think about standing. Think about throwing yourself forward, almost as if you've got a horn on your head and you're trying to poke a hole in the wall across the room. And then come on. There can be a tendency to activate the legs too quick. We got to get our cog, our center of gravity, over those legs so they're in a position to be able to mechanically pull you up into a standing position. Call that 4 and up. I kind of like the imagination or the visualization of having a horn on your head. And up. In Paul's case, he might have 2 horns on his head. I don't know. And up. Call that 6. And up. 7. The way we do this involves specific movements, this specific cadence, thus technique. And up. 8. And we'll take it down on an 8 count. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Getting that movement practiced will serve you well. It's a technique that'll help you get out of the lowest chair in your house. Sip and a swallow. Let's see here. Okay. I will stick around a little bit. Grab your ball. I will stick around a little bit after class. See how we did. And if any new folks want to say hello, you'll have the opportunity. Breathe. You know, I always say that if you don't have a ball, you could use a rolled up pair of socks. I'm not sure this part of it would work. Okay, ball in the right hand. We make a giant throwing motion with the right hand and then hand it off to the left side and make a throwing motion with the left arm. And you're going to lift the opposite leg. We're not moving too fast. The hard work pretty much is over, I'd say, for the class. We're going to do some circulatory stuff for our circulation, our respiration, our practiced movement, our choreography, moving with understanding, specificity, and intention. One more on each side. Ball in the right hand, we're going to reach out on an angle, up on a diagonal. We're going to kick the opposite leg out to the side, allowing us to tilt over the edge of the chair, thusly tasking the core. Let's go ahead and add a snap. Forgot to do this with the other move. A snap to the hand that doesn't have the ball. So we're addressing both sides of the movement. We're not just turning the lights off on that arm without the ball. Lights is on. One more on each side. And then for the last one, crush the ball between the palms. We're going to press up and out and forward and back. And I'm crushing that ball and I'm moving it around between my hands. So this is our third move. We're going to put this into a series in a moment. Last one. Okay, ball in the right hand, throwing motion forward, throwing motion, side, and up, down, forward, back, and let's bring back the snaps to the empty hand. If you can't do a snap, you can just do a finger flick. I know sometimes snapping isn't the easiest thing. And as we go forward, we're going to lift our hips off the chair a little bit. Last one. And drill this one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ball on the right hand, reach across the body and stretch. All the way over to the other side, reaching across and reach. Stretch. All the way to the other side. Pulling the ball in front. Just tap your feet and toss from side to side. Mix it up. Breathe. And put the ball down. Tall in the chair. Big breath in. I am certain, I am centered, I am strong. We're all going to say that again together. And on strong, I want you to give yourself a fist bump. I'm certain, I'm centered, and I'm strong. Yes. Woo! All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. I'll come in and invite you to come off mute, see how it did. Okay. All right. Okay, Paula, if you want to say hello, you're welcome to. Everybody can come off of mute here. How do we do?
Okay.
Good job,
I'm
Paul.
still having problems
Sweating.
getting up with the leather sofa. Any other hints? I'm
Say-
still getting problems.
Still getting what?
Standing up from a leather sofa. Like, is it the height or is it the softness? That's the problem?
Probably a combo. Especially if you have a soft sofa, it gets hard to launch off of it because when you kind of put any force, it's gonna dilute your force, right? Or it's gonna absorb any type of leverage or push down that you might have from a firm surface. So I don't know. You could maybe put a walker next to
A leather one, pretty small one. But a pillow that was not leather. It had more strength. It was harder.
Yeah, that probably
It
would.
helped a little, but it really didn't do much.
It didn't do much.
My husband, who's a little older than I am, was having the same problem getting up from the sofa. He does not have Parkinson's.
Maybe it's time for a new sofa. I mean, I know they make sofas that have parts of them that kind of come up and assist you to come off.
How do you like
I'm
it?
sure they're not real cheap. I mean, the other thing, I know they have like assistive devices, handles, and maybe something that
The chairs.
yeah, well, like that you could put underneath the couch that comes up, and so it's like a handle. I'm sure they make all different types of these things. They actually have one that I've seen that's like it goes from the floor up to the ceiling, and it's got a telescopic pole, and it's got like different types of a handle on it. That's what you should do. You know what? Don, let me see if I have your email. I'll send you a Zoom link to it. But just go down. I would explore that route, giving yourself another type of handhold or something that you could use. See.
Yeah. I had the walker next to the sofa, and I pulled myself up on that, and that worked. Not easily.
Okay, I've got your email. There's one here. I'll show you guys. I'll just find it and send it to you. Hang on. I showed it to a client who is having trouble getting out of the bed. Barry. They didn't end up ordering it.
What do they call it?
Here, hang on. Okay, here it is. Yeah, 4.6 stars. That's not too bad. Previously viewed. Let me open this up. I'll just show it to you and then I'll send you this link. Let me show the class it. Okay. I should have just done this and done a shared screen. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
So you can see it's got a thing for the floor and it's got a thing for the ceiling and it's adjustable. And so you tighten it up, but you see those two little handles. You could use those to pull yourself up off the couch. That'll probably do it.
Yeah, please do send it to me and I'll check it out.
Okay. Yeah. And before you buy this one, check around, but this one has pretty good reviews, it looks like.
Amazon or it's
yeah,
website.
that was Amazon. I hate to even use them as much as I do, but I do. All right. Any questions?
Nope. Patrick.
Yes.
It's good. She should check with her insurance company because sometimes they'll pay for even the expensive lift chairs, depending on her position.
Oh.
So check with the medical insurance company.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got you right here. All right. Okay, I'm
If
sending
you
it.
send me the information, I'll check it out.
Okay, I just sent it to you right there. All right. And that's a good idea, VJ. Yes. Okay, fall prevention, always first thing to do. I mean, obviously you want to make yourself stronger, quicker, and more balanced, but checking your environment to make sure you're set up for success. Right? Okay. All right, everybody.
I pay from the floor. I can't get up.
If
Like
what?
so. If I land on the floor because I've fallen
Yeah.
or lost my balance, I can't get up on my own.
Well, I've got a YouTube video on my channel, how to get up of the floor. You can go hunt that one down. If you can't find it, email me. I'll do that and send it to you. I kind of came up with this strategy, that involves a couple different things. And depending on where you are, you may have to end up crawling over somewhere to get to a chair. But I talk about, if you're on your back, how to turn out, roll over, and that sort of thing. All right, gang, I got to run. We'll see you next time. Sue-Ann, good to see you. Thanks for poking in and saying hello. And thanks, everybody. Nice to meet you, Paula.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Oh, sorry, YouTube. I forgot we were still feeding live here. Let's see. Okay. We've still got a couple of folks here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye. Thumbs up if you did.